Let's bring in New York Congressman John Katko now. He's the top Republican on the House Homeland Security Committee. He's also a former federal prosecutor with experience in fighting drug smuggling and human trafficking along the border, and he will be going down to the border with the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy on Monday. Congressman Katko, during that visit, getting eyes on the ground there on Monday, what do you hope to find out?
I think we're going to find out what we already pretty much know, is that it's been a colossal blunder by the Biden administration to issue an executive order, which basically has a sign on the southwest border now saying, come on in. And I prosecuted cartel drug trafficking organizations out of El Paso, Texas, back in the mid-'90s. And I can tell you that you cannot cross that border without the drug trafficking organizations say so. They control it, and that's why they fight so violently to keep it. And there's two things they bring across. They bring across drugs, and they bring across humans. And right now, the drug trafficking organizations are amping up their efforts on human smuggling. And we have a real crisis at the border, which is amazing to me, is that they're doing it at a time when we have a pandemic in the United States. And it's going to cost an awful lot of money and an awful lot of treasure just to get this thing under control, if the Biden administration wants to get under control. And that's not clear that they want to.
On the subject of the pandemic, Griff Jenkins reported that 204 of 1,700 illegal migrants tested in the Brownsville, Texas area tested positive for coronavirus. Griff and I were talking earlier today. Apparently, Brownsville does not have any authority to detain those people or put them in quarantine. The most they can do is give them CDC guidance on what they should do if they're COVID positive and then let them go. Yeah. That doesn't seem to make much sense.
It's nonsensical. If you're flying in from Mexico, they want a verification that you've been tested before taking a flight in from Mexico to the United States. Yet you can show up at the southern border, raise your hands, claim asylum, and they parole you into the United States. And it's not clear that everyone's being tested, and it's certainly clear that even if they are being tested, they're being released into these communities or overwhelming these communities. And I saw it back in the 90s, and what President Trump did was very simple. The big thing is asylum. 85% of asylum cases ultimately are denied, and the people are subject to deportation. Everyone's coming across the border, they're claiming asylum, and instead of having remained in Mexico like President Trump did, and which stopped the surge, they're saying, come on into the United States, you'll be paroled in. Oh, by the way, we've got about a 1 million person backlog of cases, so come back in several years, and they never come back, and we're going to have a huge crisis on our hands here.